Recording. Okay, welcome again, everyone. My name is Jennifer Howard. I'm the director of the Turner Senior Wellness Program. I am very happy to introduce Tracy Bird from the Ann Arbor Transit Authority, who will be speaking about the A-Ride in paratransit and answering your questions today. Tracy, you should be able to share your screen whenever you'd like to do so. So with that, I am here for technical assistance, but I'm going to turn it over to you.
All right, wonderful. Thank you so much, Jen. And thank you for those of you who are here participating today. Again, my name is Tracy Bird. I will be very honest with you. This is the very first time I am participating in presenting at a Zoom meeting. So please bear with me, especially if I keep looking at my camera in an odd way. But it is such an honor to be here today. And so thank you all for inviting me and for participating, like I said. Again, my name is Tracy Bird, and I am the travel trainer here at the Ride. I've not been doing too much travel training at this time. Actually, I haven't been on the road since March, so it's a little odd. I'm not being able to do my main part of my job, which travel training is. I assist persons with disabilities and older adults primarily, those are my primary customers, on how to use the regular fixed bus route system. But also I do the paratransit eligibility. I am the reasonable modifications coordinator here at the Ride as well. So I hope that any questions you shoot my way, I'll be able to answer for you today, anything regarding paratransit eligibility. So with that being said, I'll go ahead and share my screen with you. I got a lot of stuff here. So let's see. Are you all seeing my my slideshow right now? Maybe Jen, if you can give me a, yep.
It looks good, Tracy. Yep, you can go ahead and start from the beginning.
Okay, so I know that a lot of times people ask, like, what in the heck is paratransit? So that's what we're going to discuss today. And then of course, how you apply for it. So to talk about paratransit, I need to talk about the Americans with Disabilities Act, or the ADA. The ADA became a law in 1990. I'm not going to read it all because one, it's being recorded, and two, I'm sure you can maybe see the screen as well. But the ADA is a civil rights law that prohibits discrimination against people, individuals with disabilities in all public parts of life, but including, for this case, transportation. And what that means is that, so it's a civil rights law. It is something that we would always hope that people just wanted to do because it was the right thing to do, but that isn't always the case. So we had to make it a law. So which leads me to what is paratransit. We call it our community. You've probably heard friends calling it A-Ride or the green card as well. So we use all of those terms, we interchange those terms, I should say. So please, sometimes I call it A-Ride, sometimes I call it paratransit. I try not to call it green card too much, but I know that sometimes that's the only distinguishing factor when somebody says that they have A-Ride with us, and I find that maybe they don't have that card with a green stripe at the bottom, but maybe they have a different type of eligibility with us.
Tracy?
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt, but if you don't mind, if you can double click on your on the slide right now, we see exactly what you see. So we're seeing a whole list of the slides, and it might be too small for people to read.
You know, I'm trying to, I did my screen, there we go. Let's see. Whenever I do slideshow, it comes up on my other monitor.
Yep. So if you click on where it says from current slide and double click it.
I did.
Oh, I see. You know, sometimes it's a problem when you have two monitors going at the same time.
I'm sorry, I'm sorry if it's really disruptive to others. I noticed that I have on one screen the full one, and on the other one I have all of the slides.
Yeah, this one might be better between the two that I just saw. Because it's keeping the main one, like we can still see all the slides at the same time, but at least this one is as large as it could be.
Did I just change it again?
Yeah, that made the screen a little bit smaller. Now we're seeing your main slide and the next slide. That's
all right. So I'll just keep it at that. Is that okay?
Yeah, I would do that.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you, Tracy.
So what is paratransit? Paratransit, again, is defined by the Federal Transit Administration, or FDA, under the ADA as a safety net for persons whose disability prevent them from riding the regular fixed bus route. So paratransit it runs the same times, the same routes that our regular fixed bus routes do. So I know that sometimes people ask, like, why doesn't A-Ride run in the middle of the night? Because a lot of times, you might have, I know that the hospitals have MRI appointments, sometimes at midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning. But by definition, paratransit mirrors or runs parallel to regular fixed bus routes. So it runs, if we look at the next slide, the fundamental paratransit service elements is that the third bullet point you see is the service area is the same and the days and hours of service are the same. So paratransit, now let me go back pre-COVID and then we'll go post-COVID, is a shared ride service. Now I say pre and post because right now we are only booking appointments for household members, or if someone is going to the exact same place, like let's just say if it's a group that somebody's going to and they're leaving from the same address and going to the same location, going to be somewhere the same place all day. Those are the only times we would share a ride. Or again, if it's a member of the same household, so a family member or a rider and their personal care attendant, which I'll get to in a moment as well. So it is a shared ride. You do need to book reservations in advance. I know, again, pre-COVID, there may have been some different things, and post-COVID, there might be, we might switch it up again. But currently, we're doing reservations 1 to 3 days in advance. So for persons who qualify, they can book a trip. Like for today, they could book, today they could book a trip for tomorrow, Tuesday or Wednesday. We do provide the transportation, but not personal assistance, which means that I said that I would get back to the personal care attendant, meaning the driver is there to drive you, to get you there safely to your destination and pick you up. But it's very limited in what they can do as far as personal care. We are a curb to curb or a origin to destination service. But it doesn't mean that sometimes somebody might need an arm or an elbow to assist them in getting to a door. So in that case, maybe during the eligibility process, that somebody can say that they need that special assistance. So the driver can, again, provide that arm or an elbow driver, but they cannot be a personal assistant, such as if somebody needs assistance getting in or out of their wheelchair or something of that nature. So we don't provide that types of services. But you can, during your application process, you can request a personal care attendant. I do not have that form that I'm going to be sharing on my screen right now, or during this presentation. But when you do request an application, generally a personal care attendant form is sent out. And that just means that sometimes you might need some assistance during your trip or to where you're going due to a disability. Let's just say somebody who might have low vision when they go to the grocery store aren't able to see the labels on the packaging. So they might need somebody to go with them to help read labels or count their coupons or things of that nature. So it doesn't mean that they have to be of assistance during the trip itself, but along the trip, we should say. There is a fare that you do need to pay for paratransit, and under the FTA/ADA states that the fares cannot be any more than double of what it is to ride the regular fixed bus route. So for an adult fare for the regular fixed bus route is $1.50. So currently a ride costs $3 each way. So $3 to and $3 from. So of course, if you're doing a round trip, it's $6. All of our vehicles are accessible vehicles. You may have seen on the road, I know prior to August 1st, we did have sedans, but after August 1st, we went to a completely accessible vehicles, which means that you've probably seen some maybe of the low floorboarding or minivans out on the road. We have what we call the cutaway vans. Sometimes people call those the smaller or bigger buses. Bigger buses for A-Ride, I should say. And then we have a Ford Transit, which is called a step and slide. But all of our vehicles are accessible for any person with a disability. They all have ramps or lifts that they can ride up or go up to get into the vehicle. So and I understand there's probably going to be tons of questions about this because I've kind of, whenever you're just talking to a camera, you're not getting the interactions with the crowd. So if I am going a little too fast, please let me know. Or start typing in your questions now, I guess. So now that I've given you just some background of what paratransit is, you probably wonder, like, how do you even apply for it? So best way, you can request an application by calling our main office. And I've got the numbers on the screen. You can go to the RIDE's website, or you can email aride@theride.org. On the very last screen, I am going to also have my direct number. You can always call me directly. I do tell people that, especially with calling myself or the main office number, we are only here from 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. And such as right now, I'm not answering phone calls, and I see I've got a few messages. So sometimes you may not get me, but please always leave a message if you do. Now I'm going to try, I do have navigating our website on the screen because I know sometimes it can be a little confusing. So if you choose to go on the website and pull up an application, I have tried to say whenever you go to theride.org, this is the screen you're going to see. And let me try real quick if I can. I thought I could. Share my other screen, but maybe I'm not able to. Let's see. Nope. Okay, I'm not too tech savvy. All right, so when you go to theride.org, this is the main screen that you're going to see. So all you have to do is scroll over to where it says services, and you can click on that. And once you click on that services, you'll see it'll say accessible and senior services, and it will be the universal sign for persons with disabilities that will come up. Just click on that, and then you'll see this screen. And so you can see it says A-Ride eligibility off to the left. And then I couldn't screenshot the whole screen on here, but it says A-Ride, and it talks about what our service hours are. But if you scroll down to almost the middle of the screen, you're going to see this, the slide that I have up now. And all you have to do is click anywhere in that box to apply. The good thing is starting, let's say, I think June, we have a new application. If any of you have ever filled out an A-Ride application or seen one in the past, they can be pretty lengthy. But we have shortened this one. And the good thing is it is a completely fillable form. So if you are not able to print it, or like me, I have some issues with writing, so typing is much easier for me. You can type in your application. Of course, there is a portion, there's a portion for you to complete or someone on your behalf, and then there's a portion for your medical professional to complete. And usually we tell people, it could be your doctor, a nurse, a physical therapist. We just ask that that person is currently treating you, and two, they're treating you, there's a nexus or a connection on why you're why you're completing the application and the medical professional you've chosen to complete the form. An example would be, I had in the past a social worker at an agency completed an application, the medical portion for someone who was applying due to low vision. But yet that social worker was not able to give me any type of eye acuity or fields of vision. So, I let the applicant know that wasn't necessarily the most appropriate person, but if she could please send along information, maybe from her eye doctor, so we could process the application. Now, a social worker can complete the form, of course, but we would ask that they have access to your medical records, or again, the reason why you're applying. So it might sometimes that a particular doctor may not be the most, like maybe your primary care physician may not be the most accurate if you're getting ready to have surgery and you want an orthopedic to fill out that as well. So just keep that in mind. But when in doubt, you can always give me a call. Again, I'm going to have my phone number, but also my phone number is on the front of the application. So when you're submitting an A-RIDE application, and of course, don't worry about remembering all this, it is on the second page of the application, but the application has to be, it's only considered complete when all of the questions are answered, their signatures, and your medical professional is provided as well as their portion is filled out. Applications can be submitted. I get a lot of them from doctor's office via email, so they can be scanned and emailed. And I do try to stress scanned and emailed because I get a lot of people who are taking pictures of their application and sending them. The unfortunate part is that a lot of times when that happens, it comes across as a photo, and whenever I try to blow it up, it becomes too distorted to read. And my eyes aren't as young as they used to be, and I have a really difficult time trying to see a 4x6 application. That's so we do ask that if they're emailed, that they're scanned and emailed. And of course, you can send it to aride@theride.org. You can also mail them, or you can drop them off at our office. We do ask that, and our fax number has been taken off all of the A-RIDE applications, and because we ask that you not fax them, and it's not to make anybody's life more difficult, but I was finding that I was receiving less than probably 30% of applications that were being faxed. Our fax system doesn't come directly to me. It goes through an email system, and then they have to be sorted out. So I was finding that I was not getting very many applications at all that were being faxed. Once a fully completed application is mailed, scanned, or scanned, emailed, mailed, or dropped off at our office on South Industrial, the processing can be done or is done within 21 days. Now, I will tell you, I said that the beginning that I'm a travel trainer, and I'm doing no travel training right now. So that means I have more time in the office. So I am getting applications processed much faster than the 21 days, but under the FTA guidelines that we do have that time to do that. There are a couple things I want that's not part of the presentation that I have screens for, and it does say it on the application, but we do need a photo. So if you are approved for A-RIDE, we actually have an ID card that you use. There will be a number attached to that, but then the ID does need to be shown in order to receive services. And again, a lot of times people will email a photo. I just always ask that just your name is in the subject line. And then if the application is mailed, that's fine. If they're sent separately, that part is fine if it's sent separately. I just put them in a photo file, and then once I receive that application, I'll put them together. Now, let's see, I haven't talked about the types of eligibilities for A-RIDE. And I don't know if that's necessary to go in right now, but you might have some questions on that, like who truly is eligible for A-RIDE? And I tell people that it's, if you, again, have a disability or the inability, let's put it that way, maybe the inability to walk to a regular fixed bus stop, stand and wait for a bus, board a bus, and transfer, all of the steps that it takes to get to a destination. You know, that because I know a lot of times people say, well, I'm not disabled, but I'm not able to walk very far because I have fibromyalgia. I'm fine on days, but on some days when I have flare-ups, I can barely walk a half a block or walk to the end of my driveway. So, I always say, I don't tell people, oh yeah, you qualify, you automatically qualify if you have this or that. But I always say, please apply and let us go through the process. Because A-RIDE also is not simply just because somebody has a disability, do they qualify for A-RIDE. It's how that disability prevents or substantially limits you from riding regular fixed bus routes. And yes, when you look at the application, if you pull an application up, it will all be about the regular fixed bus routes. And I have people all the time calling me going, well, I can't ride the bus, that's why I'm applying, but it's only asking about the bus. That's why, because we're looking to see if somebody has the ability sometimes to ride the bus. Maybe you then have conditional eligibility for A-RIDE. Like say you are a wheelchair user, you have an electric wheelchair, and you can go anywhere where there's sidewalks as long as there's not snow or ice present, or it's really rainy outside. Then you could possibly have conditional eligibility based upon snow or ice present, or sidewalks and curb cuts in good repair. You might also have, I do want to mention this, that if you have A-RIDE or paratransit eligibility, or if you have a friend that is coming into town and they have paratransit eligibility where they currently live, they can apply for visitor status. All they have to do is show that they currently have paratransit where they are. And I send out, again, not currently, not a lot of people are traveling, but on most times I send out probably 3 or 4 eligibilities to different entities, different agencies throughout the country. So with that, let me know what kind of questions you have. My information is on the screen. I can be reached at the 794-1721 number. Again, you can always call A-RIDE customer service. The number is there, or our main office. And with that concludes my part of the presentation. So any questions?
Okay, again, as a reminder to everybody, if you have a question, you can go ahead and click in the Q&A box at the bottom and go ahead and type in your question, and we will hold for just a moment, Tracy,
Okay.
and see if anybody has any questions. I don't have any in the queue, but that doesn't mean that we don't have a question lingering out there.
Well, and I also understand too, sometimes I get pretty excited and talk a little fast.
That's okay. That's okay. Okay. I currently have no open questions.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so you must have just explained everything perfectly. Nobody has a single question.
Either that or I confused you so much and then I expect my phone to be ringing, so.
Oh, not at all, not at all. Well, everyone, you have Tracy's contact information on the last screen there. So if you do have any questions, feel free to give her a call. Of course, you're always welcome to call the Wellness Center, and I think you all have our phone number, but it is 734-998-9353. And with that, I think we will wrap up very quickly, Tracy.
Wow. Okay. Well, thank you for being so easy on me, guys.
Yeah, thank you so much for the presentation and for the great information. And we'll make sure to get this recording out for others to view.
All right. Fantastic.
Thank you. And thank you to those participating.
Thank you. I hope you all have a beautiful day and enjoy this lovely weather.
All right. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye-bye.